Welcome to DevOps with Agentic AI demo. My name is Murali. I am a software architect and AI specialist. In this demo, I am going to explain how DevOps is evolving with Agentic AI nowadays, how to use agents to build CI/CD pipelines, how the agent is going to determine the flow, how it is going to identify the issues, how it is fixing the issues, how agent itself is going to raise a PR and reruns your pipeline. Finally, deploys your application into a remote server. This is not going to be a basic DevOps demo. And we know that DevOps is not a technology or not a language. It is going to be a collaboration between two teams. One is development team, another one is operations team. It is just about a culture, or you can say that a practice, which helps us to streamline the development process, build process, and deployment process in an efficient way. When it comes to the actual discussion, our agenda is to focus on agents, how these agents are going to resolve our issues. That's what we are going to focus in this demo. In order to give you the demo, I have taken two steps here. The first step is about to create a regular CI/CD pipeline. And the second step is to determine the issues in our pipeline. If there are issues, how AI is going to act, the agent comes into the picture, how that agent is going to resolve your issues and raises a PR and finally deploys your application into the remote server. To give you the demo, we need to have an application. I have an application with me. My application name is Weather App. I'm going to use this Weather App. And I need to focus on a remote server. For that, I'm using my AWS account in which I will create an EC2 instance. And after that, I will plan to create a CI/CD pipeline. Finally, I will deploy my entire application into AWS EC2 instance. This is what my first step. To deploy the application into EC2 instance, I use GitHub CI/CD. I mean to say, I use GitHub CI/CD actions. With the help of GitHub Actions, I can build my application and finally I can deploy the application into EC2 instance. That's what I'm going to show you now. Let me go with my AWS account first. I just want an EC2 instance. For that, I have to create an EC2 instance in my AWS account. Go to AWS account, log in into your AWS account. You can search for EC2 instance. I'm already in EC2 instance location, so that I'm trying to create or launch an EC2 instance. The name of this EC2 instance is my agent AWS, or give a proper name, agent in CI/CD demo. This is my AWS EC2 instance name. And you can choose any of these distributions. If you are good at Red Hat, go with Red Hat. If you want to use Ubuntu or Windows operating system, whatever the type of the operating system that you want to use, you can go with that. For this demo, I'm going to use Amazon Linux distribution type. And the instance type is T3 micro. I'm using a free trial account so that I use this T3 micro. If you want, you can, of course, choose different type of instance types available. Let me go with a key pair. If you want, you can create a key pair, or else you can choose existing key pair. I have a key pair with me, so that I'm going to use my existing key pair. I'm not creating a new key pair. Simply, you just try to click on this create new pair to generate a key pair. That's it. And if you want to access your instance outside AWS, definitely you have to verify these network settings. In these network settings, I'm going to allow HTTP. I'm not having any SSL certificate for now, so that I'm ignoring this HTTPS. If you have SSL certificate, of course, you have to enable this HTTPS protocol. This HTTP is pointing to port 80. If it is HTTPS, it will point to port 443. But as of now, I don't have any SSL certificate, so that I'm trying to use this HTTP protocol only. I can access my instance or my server outside by enabling this particular protocol. You can also make changes in the security groups. This is nothing but a security group which mostly deals with your firewalls. You just try to concentrate this networking area to use your application outside AWS by enabling this HTTP for now. You can also focus on the other settings, but for now I'm good to go with the basic details. I go with these basic details and I'm trying to launch my instance. Now we are ready with instance. I can see agent in CI/CD pipeline. This is my EC2 instance, which is already created and in running state. And if you click on this instance ID, you will be able to see the public IP and the private IP. Public IP is generally used to access your AWS instance in the internet. Just try to copy the IP and verify the IP, pasting that IP in the browser. You know that there is no information or no application deployed to this server. Don't use HTTPS for now. There is no SSL certificate with us, so you will see nothing. Even you type HTTP, you will see nothing because there is no application deployed yet. This is done. This step is done. Okay. We need a server so that we created an EC2 instance in AWS free tier account. Okay. If you have paid account also, that is fine. You can go with your EC2 instance. Once the practice is completed, you can delete that EC2 instance. Don't forget to delete the instances what you are creating in AWS to avoid unwanted billings. Now, focus on our application. I have that application with me. Okay, my application name is Weather Now app. Let me open that app in my VS Code. This is my app. Okay, this is my app. I'm just trying to run this application in my local system. Let me run this application by using a simple command npm start. This is simply a React application so that you can see a couple of folders here. Just try to run the application first to see the output of this application. This is my application. This application contains some weather information. The temperature in New Delhi is 32 degrees. If you want to check any other city, you just try to select the city. Temperature in Hyderabad, temperature in Mumbai, London, whatever you want, you just try to click that specific city. Of course, we are not going to build as a DevOps engineer. Developers are going to take care of this entire code development. The only responsibility of a DevOps engineer is to build the pipelines and to deploy the application into real-time server. So we don't need to bother about much in this application code section. Okay, this is fine. Now we are ready with the application as well. The next plan is to create a pipeline. But before that, we need to push all our code files into a repository. For that, I am using GitHub. Let me now focus on GitHub. Go to GitHub and try to create a repository in GitHub. Let me focus my repository. I'm now just trying to create a new repository. Okay, let me go with all newly added instances to understand better. Go to this new button. This is my repo name, Agentic Demo with EC2. Okay, and create a repository. These are the comments that we have to use while working with our repository. Let me paste all the comments. So this is my repo name, Agentic Demo with EC2. This is my repository. Now this repository is empty. There are no files pushed yet, so that I'm now trying to push all my code files. But before pushing code files, I have already written CI/CD actions in the form of an YAML file. This is what my YAML file, which contains different type of jobs and steps. One is to build the application, another one is to deploy the application, and then this is all about to perform actions with the help of agents. At this moment, we don't need to bother about any agents. The idea is to understand how this CI/CD pipeline works. For that, you need to write some YAML script in GitHub. This is not a big script. You can easily understand. It's not like our regular languages where we need to apply logical thinking. All these steps basically are can easily remember, and you will be getting all these steps in many documentations. Okay, you don't need to worry about all these steps. We will definitely focus YAML step by step so that it is very easy to understand. After that, I have written a simple agent with the help of Python. This agent is going to diagnose the issues in our CI/CD pipeline. For that, I am using OpenAI. This is what my service provider, and also a model GPT-4o Mini. This is what my model, and also a simple prompt I have included to troubleshoot our CI/CD pipelines and also fix the issues raised in our CI/CD pipelines. At this moment, there are no issues, so that we don't need to bother about our agent. But agent is not going to work without implementing the agent how exactly we want it. That is the reason you need to understand some Python. That definitely we will discuss in such a way where you will be in a position to write your own Python script to write agents in a simple way to understand in our regular sessions. Okay, now I'm just trying to show you the approach, what exactly we require to deploy the application and to include an agent. Now, let me go to my GitHub repository and I have to make some changes here. Go to settings of your repository. First, you need to enable some settings in this actions general. And here you have to provide workflow permissions to your agent and also allow GitHub Actions to create and approve pull requests. So save and make changes. Okay. And after that, now we have to connect to our AWS EC2 instance from this GitHub. Definitely, there should be a connection between GitHub to your AWS. Then only you can deploy your application into EC2 instance. For that, we have to go again with this settings area. There we need to use some secrets to connect to your EC2 instance. Let me click on this action. This is a particular section. This section is all about environments. Environments in the sense, in general, we use development environment, UAT environment, pre-production environment, production environment. There will be different kinds of environments in our regular day-to-day life, especially when we deal with applications. If you choose repository secrets, it works with all branches and commits in this specific repository. That is the reason I'm going to choose this repository secrets. And when it comes to the secrets area, you have to use these secrets. EC2 host is the first secret that we have to add. Okay, EC2 host is nothing but your public IP of your server. Okay, public IP of your server. You just try to add this secret and create another secret. This is all about EC2 username. EC2 username is all about EC2 user. You just try to see the next secret is EC2 username. Of course, we have to add SSH key, port, etc. And this is all about EC2 username. EC2 user is the default username of your EC2 instance. If you want to verify it, still you can verify it by clicking on this connect. There is a username here. The name of this username is EC2. If you have other users associated with this EC2 instance, you can give that username itself. For now, it is okay. We go with this. And we have to include SSH key. SSH key is going to allow you to connect it to your AWS EC2 instance in a secure way. For that, we have to configure that SSH key after adding this username. Let me go with this particular secret and let me verify what exactly the key that I have used here. The key that I have used is new key pair. This is already with me in my local machine. I have downloaded this key earlier. Okay, you can use same key for multiple EC2 instances. In fact, that is the reason I did not create a new key pair. Okay, a key pair is nothing but a secure key. It is nothing but a private key which allows you to access your AWS EC2 instance. This is all about your secret key. The name of the key is new keypair.pem. That's the reason I'm going to use this key. If you want, of course, while creating your EC2 instance, you can create a new key pair in AWS itself. Okay, it will automatically get downloaded once you create a new key pair. Okay, don't worry about this SSH key. And after that, we have to use the default port of SSH key. This is an optional secret, but I'm going to give this value 22. Why? Because the default SSH port is always 22. Okay. And finally, we need one more secret key. This is all about Open API key. Why? Because we are using OpenAI as an AI model in our functionality. It is going to act as an agent. If there are any issues in our CI/CD pipelines, it is going to determine, fix the issues, and finally raises appropriate PRs and then deploys the application. That's what the basic objective of using this OpenAI API key. Let me use that. I will show you how to create that OpenAI API key here in this domain platform.openai.com. You just try to visit this domain. This is the domain. In this domain, you can see API keys option on the left side and then try to create a key. Okay. Agentic TACD is my key name. I'm now trying to create a key. Copy this, try to click on done. Now paste that key value here. Don't use this key. Why? Because after this video demo, I will delete this key. You can create on your own by logging into OpenAI website. Okay. Let me add all the secrets. What are all the secrets required? And these secrets I have included. And now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to push my code into GitHub repository. Okay, as of now, we are in application directory only. I'm trying to convert this application directory to a working directory so that I will be able to track all the changes with the help of Git. Now, this is what my basic command to initialize Git in this repo. We already tested this application is working fine. And then I have to stage all the files for that git add dot is the command. And after that, you just try to give some commit. The commit name is first commit. And then define the branch. We are in main branch and map the actual path of your git repo and then push all the files to your main branch. See, these comments are there in Git. I just copied after creating a repo. Okay. Instead of readme, I just changed this to read add, which is representing all the files in our working directory. Okay. See, this is going to be our application. Our application is now available in this GitHub repository. Okay, let me go with my repo. What is my repo? The latest repo I would like to check here by accessing this repository. This is what my latest repo. Just click on this agentic demo with EC2. As soon as the changes get committed to your branch, this pipeline triggers. Why? Because we implemented in such a way, and it is going to have jobs. One is build job, another one is deploy job. Let me focus on it and see how exactly it is going to work. Now this is working properly. The build job is completed and also the deployment job completed. And now you just try to focus on your basic YAML. At the time of deployment, we are using secrets what we require to connect to our AWS EC2 instance. And also we are installing proper dependencies, what and all the dependencies we exactly require to run our application in the AWS EC2 instance. I just installed even Nginx, a web server, to run my React application in the EC2 instance. All these commands you will get. You don't need to worry about this much information here. You can get all these statements step by step if you verify these statements. And if you go with even a simple vibe coding tools, okay, you don't need to worry about the syntax. Don't be scared with the syntax. Okay. Now let me see my AWS instance. I have already posted my code. This GitHub CI/CD pipeline deployed my code into AWS EC2 instance. This is my local instance and this is my AWS IP. This is my public IP so that I can access my IP. We got the application deployed in EC2 instance. You can even access the cities. You are getting right response from your application. You are getting a right response from the selection. Hope you understood the process, how we deployed application from local machine to a remote server. Local machine is my laptop. A remote server is simply about EC2 instance. For that, we used GitHub CI/CD. Now, what I'm trying to do is here, if you observe the CI/CD pipeline, in the actions, I have written CI/CD pipeline. The first CA pipeline is successful. Once the CA is successful, what it did, the deploy pipeline gets started and it deployed application into the EC2 instance. It is good. Why? Because there are no errors in our deployment process or in our CI/CD pipelines. Finally, now what I'm trying to do is I am manually injecting some issues in my application. See, in real time, we'll be getting a lot of issues, of course. Okay, we don't need to manually inject issues, but as this is a simple application which I'm using in my demo, I have to create some issues. For that I am removing this Axios dependency so that it will cause an issue. And also I'm going to this test file trying to make some unwanted changes here just like this. Okay, text file is going to, this is a simple test case, unit test case, which is going to identify some text in this page. If the text is matching, it will get passed. As of now, we tampered this text. Definitely, it has to show an error while building our CI/CD pipeline. Let me push these changes to my Git repo. Okay, I'm trying to type git add followed by a dot, git commit, file changes made. Finally, I am pushing the code to main branch. See, now that pipeline get triggered. Why? Because we already mapped that pipeline. If there are any changes pushed to this pipeline, definitely there will be some invocation in this actions area. You will see that this is our commit, right? We have committed something now, some changes into our GitHub repository. Let me open this, try to see this, what happened. Now the build got failed. As soon as the build got failed, AI entered into the picture. Now, this agent is evaluating, determining what exactly the issue. Let us see. Now, this AI job executed successfully. Let me open this AI job and let me find out what exactly it is trying to convey us. Okay. This is trying to convey us by providing some artifact information here. I'm trying to download it. Let us see what it is going to tell us. I just downloaded it. Okay. Extract this. See the report. The report is saying there is an issue with Axios. This is what we intentionally injected, right? Okay. Now, if you want, you can also verify in this build pipeline. This build pipeline is also throwing some errors here. You can see there is an issue with Axios package. Why? Because we deleted that package. Okay. This is the first issue. And the second issue is, the test case. We tampered the test case. But as soon as one error caught by the CA pipeline, it is going to stop the execution. That's what happened now. You don't need to verify for the next error. Once this error get fixed, then only it is going to figure out the next error. Now, what happened in this context? Let us see what it is going to tell us. This is what the commit we did. And after that, agent came to picture and agent asking you and telling you something. See, this is not my commit. This is a commit which is made by agent. Agent is asking your permission. Of course, you can skip these permissions by changing some settings, but it is asking us some permission to act. Okay, now we are giving permission to this agent to act. What it is going to do now? Let us see. Again, it starts building the pipeline. Okay, so if you see, it is agent raised automatically a pull request, right? This is a new branch which is automatically created by the agent itself. We did not create this branch. In fact, agent created this branch. Now agent is trying to execute build. Of course, the build got succeeded. Let us see why it got succeeded. And then it is going to, now agent is going to execute this build pipeline. Let us see whether it can fix the issues or not. Once the issues get fixed, it has to deploy automatically. Now try to go to your actions and see what exactly happened. We injected some issues. Agent started determining those issues in this particular pipeline process. And agent has automatically raised one PR by creating a specific branch and started executing and resolved the issues in our CI/CD pipeline and deployed application into the server. Now, if you see, your application will work, but now we are not finding out any difference, right? Let us make some difference in our application. Some change. I'm going to add some change in my application. This is my app.js file. I'm trying to include welcome to weather app by Murali. Okay. This is what the change I'm going to add now. And as usual, we have to add the changes and commit the changes, change made in app.js file. And after that, push the changes to your main branch. Definitely, here in this local repo, you have again issues. There is a problem with your package.json file. There is a problem with your test.js file. There are two problems here. When you push the changes again, that specific action is going to run, the pipeline should get failed again. What is the reason behind it? Our agent has made the changes, but we did not pull any changes from this particular PR. Okay, from this particular branch. That is the reason we are again with the same errors what we have in our earlier commit. Now this is going to fail the CA pipeline. And then it went to the next job. The next job contains deploy and agent. Our agent is now trying to figure out the issues. And agent is going to raise a PR. You have to review and accept the PR once, approve the PR, and automatically it is going to take its responsibility to fix the issues and deploy the entire application to your server. We are not doing anything here. Just try to observe. If there is any issue like this, you have to inform a developer. The developer has to fix this issue. If there are 10 issues, the developer has to fix all 10 issues. And again, he has to raise a PR. So this will take a lot of time. Okay. But agent is not going to wait for the time. Agent is going to act independently to identify the issues, whether the issue is a dependency issue or whether that issue is a code issue. Now we have injected two types of issues. One is dependency missing issue, another one is some code issue which is there in our test file. Both the issues are handled by our agent. Now it is able to deploy the change to your remote server. Now I am trying to show you whether our changes got deployed into our server or not. It has to deploy the changes to your server. So this is what the way we made a change in our application. Whether that application contains some issue, the CI/CD pipeline get failed at some point of time. Agent came into picture. Agent evaluated. Agent took the responsibility, installed the respective packages on its own, resolved the CI pipeline. Let me show you what happened exactly in this branch. If you open this branch, say this is what the branch created automatically by the agent, and go to this package.json file, you have to get the Axios package. See, now it is added Axios package. Test file, it should add some text from the page. Now go to app.js. Okay. This is going to be validated, of course. Okay. This content is available in our web page. So it is, see how the package got added and how the app.test.js file modified with the change. All this is done by the agent. We did not do anything manually, and we did not fix the issues in our local machine. We did not push the changes, what and all the fixes that we have made to the GitHub repository. It has identified on its own. It has raised a PR. It has committed it. It has resolved the issues, and it has deployed entire right build to your server. This is what the way you can understand the significant use of agentic AI in our CI/CD pipeline development process. There are so many concepts involved. We are going to discuss really the evaluation of agentic AI in DevOps, how exactly the agent comes into picture. Agent is going to take the responsibility when there is an issue found, how it is going to fix it, how it is going to rerun the pipeline and deploy the application into real-time servers. There are so many concepts, of course, to discuss. I have included a lot of slides in my discussion, but all these concepts definitely we will discuss in our regular sessions. You will get to know how to deal with Python, how to deal with vibe coding, and how to deal with all these agentic related flows in your CI/CD pipelines. This is not only to fix some issues. This is one example to understand how agentic AI is performing its role in the context of CI/CD development. But when it comes to our regular discussions, so there are a lot of things to understand how exactly we can leverage AI in our day-to-day life. Okay, we discuss everything from the scratch. Why agentic AI is trending? What exactly this agentic AI is doing? How efficient it is to streamline our CI/CD process? What and all the things that you can perform and implement with your agents? What and all the responsibilities agents can take care of, how they are going to enrich your process. Agentic AI is going to involve in various areas of CI/CD process, especially in our DevOps process. I mean, in the context of observability and log intelligence, automated code scanning, automated code reviews, compliance checks, incident and root cause analysis, self-healing fixes. There are so many things that you can perform with the help of these agentic flows. That's what the significant use of agentic AI in our day-to-day DevOps process, so that it is important to understand agentic AI in your DevOps to become agentic ops AI automation engineer, a DevOps engineer who knows AI, an AI governance guardrail engineer, which is mostly to talk about AI security, DevOps security, SRE AI Copilot engineer, AI flow designer engineer. There are so many platforms, like platform engineer. There are various designations down to the line that you will see with the evaluation of AI in DevOps. Please contact us for any clarifications, for demos, and for regular classes. Thank you. Thank you very much.